I got a signal to go short, so I'm going to place my stop. I'm going to place my take profit. And from here, I will manage the trade. Now, as the trade progresses, I'm going to reduce the risk as frequently as I can. So I got the signal to go short, stop is placed, take profit is placed, and it's just a matter of managing the trade. So we're going to manage the trade as it works itself out. And I'll put the video on pause and I'll be back shortly. This trade is moving in our favor, so I'm going to manage this with the stop. Now I'm going to move my stop a little bit. I'm not going to kill, or I'm not going to reduce the risk a lot, but this is just the initial phases of the trade. So I am going to reduce it about a fifth or so, and that is going to make the risk smaller than how I started out. I'm going to manage the stop a little bit further on this trade. So we've reduced this quite a bit now. So we're sitting at probably more than half of what the initial risk was, simply because of proper trade management. A little bit of chop in here, but that's to be expected. We've just opened Europe, so the European market is just opened, so we are seeing a little bit of noise from that, but that's okay. We're still in the trade. No reason to close it early. We are looking good. The market is on its way down to our take profit, and I hope to catch that version on the video. A little bit of sideways chop, but that's okay. Market has come back around, and I do get an opportunity to manage my trade a little bit more. So the risk on this one is very, very small. You can see how small the risk is versus how big the gain can be on this. So we've got small risk, large potential reward, and we're just about there. The market has to drop below this level by the spread amount. And that's why this didn't take us out. We have to get below by 1 point, whatever it was at the time, 1.8 pips, I think. So once the market drops below this exit line, or take profit by 1.8 pips, then we will be out of the trade. This might take us out here. We might see a little push to the downside. And if that is the case, then we'll be out. Now this is an equilibrium short. And the signal was inside of this channel here. We had the short signal here, and the market has fallen through. And we are very closely going to be taken out of the trade in, looks like, full profit. So again, I'm going to put the video back on pause. Once we get a bit closer to our exit, then I'll come back. One more opportunity to manage the trade. So now we're not quite at break even, but almost there. And hopefully within seconds, we're going to see an exit here as the market hits our take profit. I do get a chance to move to break even. So let's do that. Stop loss. I'm going to move just on the underside of the entry. So I am not only at break even. If I lose, I'm going to get a little bit out of this. Now we are dropping below the exit level here. It has to get by whatever the spread was, 1.8 pips. So we're going to see that right now. There we go. This was an equilibrium short. Now we have touched this middle channel, and I do expect that the price is going to react off of that level. We can see over and over and over again in history how the market reacts off of that level, and it makes for a really nice profit target. So we managed to get this trade taken out. This was an equilibrium short. I want to take a look really quick and see what we made on this one. So here it is. This is the short trade, $885, nice and clean. So this was the entry, was this candle here. This is what we call an equilibrium short. The setup was crystal clear, a very nice shorting opportunity. And the target was this middle channel here. So we had the target at the channel. The channel did drop a little bit as the trade progressed, and that's perfectly fine. So we were taken out. The profit target wasn't quite 2 to 1, but it was much more than 1 to 1. So we had a really good trade out of this. Again, this is an equilibrium short trade, and it worked out really, really well. See you in the next live trade video. I've got a signal to go short. This is an equilibrium short trade, so I will place that sell trade right now. Stop loss and my take profit are both placed. So as this trade progresses, I will get a chance to manage it. And as I do so, I will be back. But for now, I'm going to put the video on pause. I'm going to manage this trade. I'm going to reduce the risk by half. I'm going to take my stop loss and drop it down halfway. Now, we did spike below this exit level, and the reason it didn't take us out is because the spread at that point was about 1.7 or so. And if I do this, we can see that 1.7 is a little bit lower. And we have to be out below this by whatever the spread amount is. And this is only the case in the sell trade. So we'll be looking for the market to hit just below this low, this wick down here. Once the market does that, then we'll officially be out of this trade. Right now, we need to drop just a little bit lower, about a pip or so lower, not even. And then we'll be out of the trade. All right, well, we've got another candle that opened. This one is just about there. We're just about out of this trade. I'm going to manage this one a little bit further. So even though we're a fraction of a pip away from getting taken out, we're still going to manage this because anything can happen. I don't know how many times I've been a fraction of a pip away from the target and the market did turn around. So it does happen. I am going to actually move my stop to just better than break even. So I am in profit. So no matter what happens at this point, I can't lose on this trade. If I get a little tiny kick down, we're going to close the trade in profit. But if it does move up and get to this dot here, then we'll close the trade. It'll still be in profit, but it'll just be a smaller amount. So I'm going to put the video back on pause. When this starts to come back around, I hope to catch it as it closes. Well, the candle has closed and the new one is opened, and we are back on track to getting our take profit hit. So we're going to wait and watch. Something that we can do on a sell trade is I'm going to right click. And this trade might take us out, but I'm going to hit properties. There we go. We were taken out of the trade. We were taken out of the trade and it worked well. This was a nice trade. We had a little bit of a flutter, but that's okay. That's the way this goes. Market did take or hit our take profit and we did nice. So let's take a look. I'll put some arrows on the chart. Take a look at what we made on this one. All right, so we took a equilibrium short trade on the close of this candle here and the price moved down. We had a bit of a hiccup right in this area here, but it never did go too much higher than these dots, which stayed clear of our stop loss. Now, what we made on this was $765. This isn't a huge trade, but it is still a good day's work. This was a live trade, equilibrium short, Euro USD. Thank you for watching. See you in another live trade video. This was, on this gray candle here, an equilibrium short trade, which I entered. Now, for the stop loss, and for the take profit, wait a second, there we go. All right, so I've got my stop placed, my take profit placed. We are in this short equilibrium trade. This is the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. I am going to be moving my stop loss as the trade progresses and allows me to do so. But in the meantime, I'll put the video on pause and I'll see you in just a moment. Well, this short is working out quite nicely. I am going to manage this trade. I'm looking at about 1.5 or so pips. So this is where my stop loss is going to go. I'm going to cut this risk right in half. As this is a short trade, market's going to have to drop below about 1.5 pips before it closes in profit. We're going to let the market do that. Now, the risk has been reduced, so if we get stopped out, we'll lose a little bit. But if we get our take profit hit, then we'll win the full amount, and that's always a nice thing. So I'm going to put the video back on pause, and I'll return in just a minute. With some luck, we'll see this trade close itself out in profit. Now we just need a tiny little push. And there it is. We got that move below that exit level. We got that move below the exit level by the spread amount, and that is what closed the trade. So this was a nice little short trade. Let's take a look and see what we made and where we entered the trade and how this thing played out. So this little short netted $885 even. The equilibrium short was on this little gray candle right here. We entered that trade and it pulled back almost immediately. It didn't see any profit for a little bit, but 5 candles later, it came back around and it just sunk after that. It was a nice trade and we managed the trade as we went. So the stop, it never did get to break even, but the risk amount was reduced quite a bit, quite substantially. So if we did lose this, it would have been just a small amount. So again, $885 on the equilibrium short on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another live trade video.